Don't look under the internet.
No, those were easy. You want to know they're easy?
I love how it just cuts off.
It's fantastic.
I mean, it doesn't get more intro than that. Welcome to Dluti Ball Z.
Welcome to Dluti Ball Z. We haven't where we haven't left, or have we?
We don't know.
This
don't
is
know,
the future to
for
us,
sure.
but the past to you.
What the fuck is
We come to you from a different time, a time where we recorded something else in a different time than what you're listening to. This is the scary door.
The scary door.
You're looking at the scary door.
The scary door. Yeah, no, we decided to make this a two-party because there's so much information that goes into this episode.
Yeah.
So we decided to break it down for y'all to not give you just like a fucking 4-hour episode.
We did not plan on that, but
So
here we are.
Do we just want to jump back into where we were? Is
think
that
that's
the easiest
probably
way to go about it?
Best. Also, this
Let's not mince our words.
we call this Dluti Ball Z, but it's actually Don't Look Under the Internet, an internet horror podcast starring
so
Jason.
Close. Hello.
We
Hello,
still
hello.
have nothing new
Hello.
zero housekeeping. Fuck you guys.
That's Doug on
Doug
that.
over there.
I'm not even real.
He doesn't care.
And that's Matt.
Truly not here.
Moody butt cheeks.
And I'm
Does buffering and yodeling.
All right.
and that's me.
I got him.
I'm that one vowel that you just screamed.
How much did that cost? Because I'm
Too much.
I'm trying to spend
$200.
I want to spend
Yeah.
again.
Okay.
Right.
Well, no, you're not.
I like to.
Really got a fart.
Okay, great. Wow.
Should
what
we
an
just dump
intro.
back into this?
Yeah, at this point, it's probably for the best because this is not going to go anywhere good if we keep it up. So
We have
we're
to.
going into Boisvert. How do you say it again?
Boisvert.
Boisvert, part 2.
Bird boys.
Enjoy
Verdi
this.
boys.
Enjoy it.
Boys verding number 2.
It's
Birdie boys sounds like a Euro pop
Verdi
band.
boys.
Verdi
It
boys.
does. It very much so does.
Boys verding.
have a good time. We'll see you on the other side.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully it makes sense.
I'm gonna just read through mine, the best of
Here,
my knowledge.
Pause.
And then
Pause.
we'll let Matt explain.
No,
To be fair, I think there's a lot less explaining from here on out, and
100%.
more just isn't
Yeah.
this
Okay.
just cool?
That's fair.
so
That answers my question.
yeah. So what we're gonna do? I'm gonna go
So I'll
through
just
it.
slink away.
Yeah.
Because now a lot of it, I feel like I have a whole new mindset on it, thanks to you fellas.
Dude, same.
So I'm gonna read off my notes that I made before, like a
Okay.
week ago, when I didn't understand anything, and now I'm gonna be like, oh, hang on. So we open up. The next one is called Love Letter, which opens up with Dogtooth here. And it opens up with him all vicious, and he's like, "Oh, rah, 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 rah."
Rabble, rabble,
Raggle, 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 like the Hamburglar. We get a QR code that flashes up that links to another video called Gur.c, which is a faceless person, which is like about to just hack their fucking arm off with a hatchet.
Faceless.
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 Yes.
Okay.
Off of that, it's literally that's all. It's like a 15-second thing of a guy just be like, "Hey, gah!"
And we're
That's
done.
all it is. That's all it fucking
Okay.
is. So after that, it looks like we get a bit of a like our boy Room just kind of strolling around. He's doing a little strolly walk, and he's like, it's weird because he's doing these like movements with this hands like. And I don't know if this has anything to do with anything, but it's like this is his first time being like aware that he has hands or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's just kind of walking around like this a bunch. And I don't know if that's supposed to mean like this is his first time feeling comfortable going out and feeling like in his body.
Okay.
I don't know what that is, to be fair, because when I first saw that, I was like, is this more like low key sign language?
I couldn't
Is this
figure.
more
It seemed too sporadic to be a
it's
sign
so
language.
simple. I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think it is. But I don't know. I don't know. What
Me
that
neither.
was.
That's why I'm gonna do this
Well,
again.
I think what's about to happen makes it more relevant, and I'll
Right.
explain what I think
Please do.
maybe is going on with the hands after
So-
you talk about that.
Please do. So we see the whole hand thing, and then holy shit, here comes Dogtooth.
Fuck yeah.
He's running up on Room, or yeah, I guess this is Room at this point.
black
It's
guy.
with
Can I
the-
just
with the-
say,
the white
Mask,
face,
can I
yeah.
just say now in this iteration, Dogtooth is no longer just like a 2D
yeah, he's
spiky
full
boy.
on-
He's
Yeah.
a 3-dimensional man head Dogtooth boy.
And he's fucking cut, man.
He's
oh
like-
yeah, he is
he's got
ripped.
cum gutters, dog.
Yeah, he does. He has cum
does have cum
gutters.
gutters.
100% he does.
He is a dumb cumster for
Yep.
sure.
But Dogtooth just like runs up on Room, and it plays out kind of like an RPG does. Like I got vibes
Yeah,
of fucking
yeah. Like Final Fantasy.
Undertale.
That's been
Oh,
happening
oh.
throughout this whole series, though.
Yeah.
the whole RPG
And-
thing.
Yeah, the RPG elements are definitely here, and you get options like attack, and then
Attack.
there's also
Attack. And
And there's
also.
attack. And there's attack. And it shows him just stabbing away, just stabby, stabby. And Room here just ain't fucking having it, because he just grabs him.
Dodge.
Yeah, he's just dodging it like he's going Ultra Instinct on him. And he catches Dogtooth. And then when he does that, it kind of like flashes away, and Dogtooth is sitting on the floor. And then we get the decapitated body of Complex show up. And I was not entirely sure what this why this was involved in it. Because it's just
So,
there for a couple frames.
I don't think that's complex. That's
Well, I
Or-
guess at first
think
I
it's
was like,
Room.
why is this coming up? And here's the thing.
Oh.
So you see this come up here. And then as we look at the body here, it starts to kind of form into... I wouldn't even say form, but...
okay. Yeah, it is complex. I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
went back and
it's
looked
complex, but
Oh, yeah.
in like the frame after it, you see like the angel come up from behind Dogtooth. And I think maybe that wasn't Complex's body. Maybe that was the angel in disguise or something. Or maybe the angel comes from this complex.
I don't know, because okay, so when you say the angel came up from behind Complex,
No,
wh-
behind Dogtooth.
it's it's behind. You see Room. You see the angel like rising up, and Room is the one that you see him coming up from.
Dogtooth is like facing them, right?
Dogtooth is like
It's like watching from afar.
eating Complex's body or whatever it is that we're seeing here, because it's very obviously when they cut, you very obviously see Complex with no head. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
exactly what you see. But you see Room and then the
Yeah,
angel coming
with the
up
no
with
face.
Room.
Yeah, and which from before, like we know
Yeah.
these
Oh, yeah.
people. This is the guy who had his face off. He got Nicolas Cage.
You got Nick Cage.
And I mean he's shown right here with no face,
Yeah.
which
Right.
is pretty
Right.
awesome actually.
Yeah,
Very biblical version of an angel.
yeah, but he's talking.
Yes.
He's talking now. This angel is talking now to
Your mother.
Room
to Room.
to Room,
Your
Okay.
mother.
and
Your mom.
your mom.
It's your mother.
To sum up this conversation, the angel essentially asks Room questions like, "Why are you still here?" And Room responds, "I am owed nothing." The angel asks him, "Where's your song? What of your wings?" And Room just says, "They are forfeit." And that's when Angel says something like, "Well, we're done here then, aren't we?" He's like, "Well, fuck you." And then Dogtooth just ninja throws a knife right in the back of fucking Room's back. And then you get this like French that pops up on the screen, essentially. And it says
Baguette.
baguette, snails. It says, there is only one happiness in life. It is to love and be loved. Don't hide anymore. Stick the knife in your throat.
Oh,
This is how we go.
wow.
Isn't that fun?
What's
Isn't that
the
fun?
what's the last QR code do?
The last QR code, that one I forgot about. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys.
Swag.
I
Shouldn't have said anything.
if
huh?
I recall correctly, it doesn't pertain too much to anything. I could be a little bit on the wrong side, but I do not recall. And while Doug looks it up because I'm a fool, I'm going to move on to the next one.
Can I?
Oh yeah, no. Go ahead, say what you think because I'm a little confused on what to think here. I mean,
Okay, so
obviously, what I think. This is what I'm thinking, and then you're probably smarter than
Go
me.
for it.
So what I'm thinking is going on here
You're brilliant.
is you
You're
have Dogtooth,
And
which
humble.
represents I'm humble.
Humble.
You have Dogtooth here, which represents things like, your the will to keep going.
All right, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
7-second video, but there's like so much text that is like rapid fired on the screen.
I'm pretty sure that's the conversation that we have
Between-
later with the Covenant that they call themselves and shit. I get to that later, I think. But anyway, so
This is an ARG for Halo 6.
so what I think might be going on here is you have your boy Dogtooth, who represents the will to keep going,
Oh no.
and who's basically going up against his arch nemesis, Room, who is, at this point, what will we say he represents? If you could say
Depression.
anything.
Yeah.
He's the deepest, darkest point of depression.
Yeah, you have the will to go on versus the will not to.
Correct.
Your yin and your yang.
To just giving up. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, you have them scrapping with each other, and then you have your saving grace, your third party, your angel that comes in to save Dogtooth because apparently losing this fight. Depression is taking
Yeah.
is
Taking the
winning
bells.
this fight. Yeah, winning this fight. Your will to keep going needs a hand, and this is where this hand comes from. This angel helps you out. This angel kind of gives the will to live, kind of gives them the motivation to get that one up on depression.
Let me say one thing
Yes?
really quick. Big ol' fat fucking trigger warning here.
Pickle.
The last QR code that I asked about takes you to a 7-second video that actually leads to what most people are taking as a final suicide note from the creator.
Cool. So it wasn't just nothing.
Yeah, it was.
It doesn't seem to be the case, obviously.
Well, I mean, since they uploaded a month ago.
Yeah.
yeah.
But if you read the comments, it's like hey, if this is goodbye, like, please, like, we know that you mean so much more, yada yada. Take this for what you think it is.
Yeah. Yep.
That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to.
Did you mention at the end of the video that Dogtooth signs "I love you" to Room? Because I think that's very
that's
important.
right. I didn't. I did not. I forgot that the sign language came into this one too.
It's in almost
Yeah.
all of them.
Yeah.
Which is why I think this, to me, this one has a lot more optimistic meaning to it. Because I think, like, to me, what it seems like is happening is Room is just sort of wandering around in the complex all alone and doesn't know what to do with itself. Because I think the protagonist has gotten to a point where they don't even think that much about the room anymore, or about Room anymore, or their depression. Like, they're in a good state, and so depression is just kind of wandering around lost.
Oh, fair.
And the angel is kind of like, hey, what happened to, like, being depressed or whatever? What happened to this darkness that was inside you? And like, the protagonist is kind of just like, oh yeah, that. And so, because he's reminded of it, he kind of goes back to face it, and eventually ends up overcoming it. And then when he kills it, he says, "I love you," as in, like, that was, I understand that is a part of me, and, like, is something I had to face, and I've learned to love that about myself, and, like, not resent it anymore.
Like, acceptance is a big theme
Yeah.
here.
Sometimes you just gotta let go of the thing you love.
Like
love something-
Rose from Stan.
Yep.
Jack.
Like, maybe the angel's even, like, a therapist. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. And
Though the angel
that's-
is missing the
that's
face, so
how we
I
get
don't
to our sponsor, BetterHelp.
NordVPN.
NordVPN.
I'm just gonna run away.
Bye, Doug.
Because the angel's like, why are you still here?
Yeah.
And Room's
Yeah.
like, I don't fucking know.
Actually, I don't
And it's
know.
like, yeah.
Well, he says he doesn't just say, "I don't know." It's like, "Why are you still here?" And he's like, "Fuck, what's he say?" He says, "Why are you still here?" He says, "I am owed nothing." So it's not even like an "I don't know." It's just
Don't look at me like
"Fuck
that.
you." You know, it's "I'm owed nothing." I don't know.
Maybe that's like, I don't have to explain myself. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Again, leaning into that self-acceptance.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
I'm-
I don't have to, like, I don't
need validation.
I don't
Like,
need
fuck
to
you.
Right.
explain
It-
myself to
that
you.
was what it was, and it is a part of me, and it just, yeah, and I'm okay with that.
It do
sort of
what
thing.
it do, and it is what it
Yeah.
No, it be what it do and it do what it be. A love letter could have been summed up with it be what it do and it do what it be.
Yeah. As Mike continues drinking.
I have to for this because I realize how stupid I am. So this is the only way
You're
for me to feel.
This is very subjective. I'm not even. I am fairly confident in my analysis of like the first 7
I'm
to 8
highly
videos of
confident with
this.
your-
I am not confident in my analysis of like the back half of this. Whole thing.
I am
Like,
because
at
everything
all.
you said it sounds way smarter than things that went on my head.
You have to
Shut up.
remember.
Oh,
like,
damn
this
it,
is-
Doug!
Just
let
say
the cat
stuff.
down here.
Just say stuff. Make it sound good. That's
Doug,
all
get
I
him
do.
out of here. He's gonna meow
got
into the
it.
microphone.
He already is.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna move
See?
on to the next
Exactly
one,
like
and
that.
we're gonna see how this goes. With my boy here. So
It's gonna
the
go
next
great.
video, which I'm gonna need fucking help with this one. I'm gonna be flat out honest. I didn't understand a lick of this one. I know, me too, buddy.
There's a point where I don't think any of this means anything anymore.
Yeah,
This is
and
and
that's
we're
it-
approaching it.
Yeah, it's art for art's sake, and I
You're
think
talking
this
about
one.
Blind?
Yeah, I think
Go
this
back.
one's definitely art for art's sake for the most part.
I got
So,
a lot of that.
This one starts off. It's called www.blind, and it starts off, and in my notes even say, flying chairs and knives. That's how I start because it
Yeah.
starts off with a bunch of flying chairs and knives.
You want this to happen on your computer,
Knives.
right?
Yeah, I wanted this. Yeah, knives. Get out of here, Otto. So
knives are out.
we have. See, I told you he's gonna cause a menace. Get him upstairs.
It's gonna cause a minute.
He's also probably gonna attempt to bite you,
Hey, just like my patience.
but just be
Just with less shit
careful.
and piss.
Come on. I know.
Go on, get boy. Anyway, I'm gonna keep going while Jason gets my boy upstairs. So
He was down here before I came back, just so you know.
yeah, I'm gonna not believe that because he would have been at me. So it starts off with the flying chairs and knives. We
Knives.
see this mysterious man boots up a couple terminals. We get this hex code that reads out, "You are not wanted here. I'm getting what I have needed, and it will ruin me gently. Burning, 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 blind." That's weird, right? Isn't that weird?
No. It's pretty normal.
You honestly, this whole thing is just like a bunch of hex and binary, and it's difficult to piece it together into something congruent to me. It was very hard.
Welcome to
No,
the rest of the series, y'all.
Yeah, that's just like Doug and I talked about this a little bit in our group chat before we even started this episode. This is the point in the series where I don't think anything. There's a very, very loose plot to what happens
Yeah.
through the rest of this. Like,
I'm gonna just say Mike's favorite thing happens during my section of videos, and it's just, hey, here's a bunch
Here's
of
the thing.
code, here's a bunch of.
Oh, that's happening right here.
Figure it out.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's happening to mine right now. So you get three different
And-
things, I believe, of hex code. You get binary in this. You get so much shit, and it
Yeah.
just gets thrown right in your face to some glitched out like imagery of like a parking
structure or
garage
some shit,
and
yeah.
the forest. And it's just yeeted at you. But you get a bunch of stuff that says what I mentioned. The second bit of hex code says, a brief dissertation or treaty on what is to be considered functionally true. As always, there is so much to be said. I function under the notion that I could open my eye. The third just says flame, 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 which burning and burning objects and things like that is a pretty constant thing throughout this entire doohickey. There is a section that reads out just blind and burning over and over and over, and then it changes over to some like biblical passages. Romans 3:16. It literally just repeats Romans 3:16.
What is Romans 3:16?
Destruction and misery are in their ways.
That's it.
That's what that piece said it translates to.
Gotcha.
And then you see that there are these like symbols and spaces that add into it, and those can be translated as saying, "And I can breathe." You get some binary and even Imgur links or Imager links, whatever you want to call them. The binary reads a room, a covenant, a dog, which all reference people we've seen.
That's all
already.
references to characters.
The second bit of binary references to saying something will remain unseen. We then get a third bit of binary that says, "Then sing to me softly," and you get this Morse code that starts tapping in that says, "TBD, I don't have a good ear for Morse code." Oh, I'm sorry. That's the
I hope
funny
it
part.
says that.
No, this was from. I wrote this in because this was. I added this in. Basically saying, "I don't know," because a lot of the comments could not figure it out. There's Morse code that's going on in this thing, and a lot of people could not figure out what it meant.
Really?
So if one of you guys figured out, dope.
There are some spots where they are signing, Morse coding, doing some sort of code.
It's a combination between
But
Morse code and sign
there's also
language,
this big,
or
like-
ASL.
But it's not all decipherable for some reason. Like it's like whoever did it isn't doing it right.
Yeah,
potentially.
There's this
okay.
giant line of the number 5, which everyone's like, I don't know what the fuck that means. Everyone's best guess is that it's symbolism, because apparently in Christianity it signifies as God's grace, goodness, and His favor,
Which is
towards humans.
hilarious.
Yeah, this thing gets even more gaudy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know.
It does, and I will say 5 from
it's so funny that that's the number.
5 moving forward is going to be S's in like my whole part.
Yep.
Yeah. There's like I mentioned, there's those Imgur links, which just link to small graphics. They don't really mean a whole lot. I believe they're like flowers, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
You're mistaken.
Are they pretty?
Beautiful.
Perfect.
You get these little like text, these little bits of text in the Imgur links and everything that say things like, "I will sing to you, I will love you, he will be dead, I will hate it, I will love you." And all while this is going on the screen, there is a man in a chair that talks of burning, and he mentions that there were attempted hacks in a system. It's very poetic, really. He says things like, there was a breach in the system. We scanned through the system multiple times. We just know of the one breach. But that's really all he mentions. And this person is like a person sitting in a chair surrounded by like crosses.
Yeah.
And this is, I don't know if this is a new character or
It's like an origami chicken.
a little
I'm being
bit, yeah. I don't know if this is a new character or a character with a new look. I can't.
Origami chicken man.
Origami chicken man, but it's like an origami paper mask with like. It's like an origami mask, and it has like these like horns. It looks like to me.
That's the legs.
That is the legs. Yeah,
The wings are the other two.
It do be looking like a rotisserie chicken.
I know. I'm hungry.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, boys, but I cannot for the love of me decipher what the fuck this video is supposed to mean.
Did you go to all those links?
Oh, the Emger ones? Yeah, this is the things where it's like flowers and some of them are just like links to the text that I wrote out. That's all it really was.
Is this one of those? If you organize this in order of when the Imgur links come up, can you organize this? You know those?
I didn't do that.
Yeah, I was going
You
to
know
say,
what I'm
you
talking
think
about?
this man
You
did
think
that?
I fucking did that?
like the visual Mad Lib
Oh.
links type thing.
But here is a big discovery. In the comments, Boysvert himself.
I'm sorry, what?
Boysvert. I'm going to call him Boysvert.
Vert boy.
Vertical Boys.
Has commented a SoundCloud page. Do you want to know what's on that SoundCloud page?
Nothing.
It's music. Dope ass fucking music, dog.
This link to
100%.
KFC Murder Chicks.
Yeah, basically. Do any of you guys have an idea what the fuck this could mean? Because I could not figure out what the fuck any of this meant. This is way too deep for me at all.
Are you talking about the
I don't know, but you're
This
on your
video.
second video still, brother.
Still?
Yeah, you sure are, brother.
You need to
I think-
fucking move it along,
Fuck you.
my guy.
I don't know if
Fine. So Tether. We're on to the next one called Tether. We'll just grace past my shit.
No,
On
you
this
need to
one-
just
to
fucking-
touch on your shit.
Our
I'm
boy-
not sure what those
Yeah,
images could mean, but if you were to line them up in a certain order, I'm sure that it would be like a Mad Lib. Visual Mad Lib.
our boy in Tether, parentheses, I'm proud of you. Our boy Dogtooth is back, and now there's a little bit of claymation going on in here, which I like. I like me some claymation. So in this, there's a man sitting in a chair, and he's sitting by a knife. This looks like the same origami chicken man as before.
Love that.
So there are these Bible verses that appear on the screen with this the faceless angel from before. A QR code pops up on the screen again, and it's a video called Beseeched, where this person is just narrating to us. They're just sitting in this chair narrating to us, and he's talking to us directly, the viewer. He says that the angels speak to him, that he loves the angels, just things like he's hyping up the angel. He's really hyping up these guys. Like, these are my best friends. Room is back, and he's making an origami mask, presumably the one that was worn before. He mentions that it has been many days since he has last saw, quote unquote, him, and he asked, "What am I owed?" Which he got a reply back from him, who is the angel, "Nothing." We get more crosses and symbolism around this clay figure who is now wearing the origami mask. Honestly, again, we're getting into confusing territory because this has a bunch of shit that just kind of pops up. And this is the first instance of, I think, claymation throughout this entire thing. It uses the claymation a lot. Hand symbolism comes into it a lot as well. It honestly, at this point, it's more art than it is story, in my opinion. There's a lot of shit going on. Yeah, there's a lot going on in here. Like it, and I can't tell if it's like a thing where, because it kind of looks like throughout this entire thing that Room is reading off a script, kind of. Like he's not, like he doesn't know what to say, so he's, because the angel's supposed to represent his third party, therapist or friends, whatever.
Right. The support system.
The support system, and part of me feels like this whole thing is supposed to be him sitting in this chair talking to this support system, but not knowing what to tell them. So he's like written down shit to talk to them about, because he carries this like script with him the entire time. And even in the beginning of the video, it starts off with like someone reading off of a script. It's very interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, like literally, it shows him peeling pages back to just like read off of them.
Yeah, it's. I don't know what to really siphon from this, other than I think that's what it might be. Like, this is him just...
I think the most subjective imagery we're going to start seeing is now and forward.
100%.
Okay, so can we go back to a love letter for just a second?
Yeah.
All right, so
like,
2 episodes ago.
Yeah, no. So talking about how none of this makes any sense and I think that's on purpose. Like, I think actually, fuck my camera, man. I think, okay, what is it doing? All right, we're back.
We see you still.
Yeah, no, it's just like very blurry.
Did not see you.
That's great. I think all of this doesn't make any sense on purpose, because I think for the longest time, up until a love letter, the creator was like making this project as a representation of like what he was going through and what he was dealing with. And I think a love letter, what I was saying about how like he kind of finally kills the room, or like isn't even thinking about it anymore, is kind of just like him moving on from that part. Yeah. And now he's just making something else that just isn't really it's set in the same universe. It has the same characters that show up periodically, but it's not like part of a cohesive thing.
I'm glad that you said that, because with the next video, Angels Fall, I think we definitely get to that point where he's like, I'm doing something different here. Because
if you read the note that Doug was talking about, like. The last sentence is, or the last part of it is, I can't stop thinking about the project. I can barely sleep, but I am winning. The complex may choke me, but I have poisoned it, and it is dying faster than I. I won't feel it for weeks, but I am of the opinion that on this day and in this moment, it died, and so I decided. Farewell, Room.
Yeah.
Oh. So it's like him just saying goodbye to like this arc. Like he's like he's done dwelling in this shit, and he's just moving on and doing something else.
And I think that shows in Angel's Fall, because Angel's Fall is pretty much what I would say is a music video. It's still got a lot of the same themes as before and archetypes, but it's played out like beat for beat like a music video does, and the music behind is dope as shit.
Oh,
Fucking
100,
love
dude,
it. It's super cool.
Again, just like the fucking Herodotus thing that we covered, half the people that are here for the soundtrack. 100%.
But it starts off very video game like. We have Dogtooth who's running away from these giant arms that are trying to stab him, and this is from. I mean, at this point I can't tell if this is supposed to be angels still or like God itself, because it's like a giant eye in the sky.
Yeah, this one's hard to decipher.
It's a giant like eye in the sky, and they keep like trying to grab him with these giant arms. So I can't tell if this is supposed to represent like his
Angels Fall.
yeah. But anyway, so he's trying to avoid these giant arms, and he's trying to stab him with no avail, basically. So he's running through this like parking garage, and he dips out behind this like pillar. And the arm just like stretches past him like it missed him, and he just like sticks the knife right in the arm and just starts cutting it to fuck. And then it's at this point when you see like this like eyes and mouth that just pop up.
It's like you want to call it angel because the teeth.
Because of yes.
It's the teeth thing from the angels we saw before, but it's like on a much bigger scale, it seems.
So it almost might seem like this might be an authoritarian figure from within the angel community.
Maybe a dog. Backwards.
A dog.
So you get this mouth that just starts talking to him. He says, "You will stop at nothing," and he says, "You will be successful," and things like that. You get a QR code that pops up, and it's linking to a 20-minute blank video of just a heartbeat. Then we see Dogtooth. He's basically
shit? Is that a fucking shit?
He stabs himself free, breaks free from the arm which is holding him, and this reveals this godlike character. Now the weird thing is, Room comes back into play in this for a brief second.
Wasn't he just wandering around aimlessly?
Yeah, he's just kind of here. And it feels kind of mean because he just kind of shows up, and then this like godlike creature just like banishes him away. He's
Go
like,
away,
and he just like vanishes.
Okay.
And
I don't want to play with you anymore.
Yeah, pretty much. And this causes Dogtooth to basically walk away to a reverse voice that's singing. And why don't you
Just
go?
one of those days.
Yeah, it's singing. Why don't you go where you can see and you can follow? It's a tough pill to swallow, but in time you will see that there is so much more of me
To swallow.
to swallow.
Oh, no?
There's
Okay.
so much more of me to swallow. But, the next one is Painless. This is the one that's like, oh, trigger warner, getting a little suicide place.
Did you say suicide?
Suicide.
Okay.
Yeah. So it even links to the suicide
Is
hotline.
that when depressed people fuck?
Yeah, suicide. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So this basically immediately starts off with like a hand being stabbed like through and through with like a nail, and like what is supposed to be blood gushing out.
This
of
one's a Lovecraftian horror film, is what this is.
I don't understand half of it because we get what looks like a news anchor. But blacked out, like in
Hooded,
shadow,
okay.
talking about
It's a news cultist.
Yeah, the news cultist. Yeah, talking about the chair that guy was sitting on. I know this isn't making sense, and you have to see it to know what I'm talking about. Because boy, it doesn't make sense either way. And I am sorry. That's just how it be.
I'm so sorry that I can't make sense of this.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's
I'm sorry.
That's how it's gonna be. But we get a lot of like just gross imagery. Like you get a mouth coughing up blood.
Can I be 100% honest here? This video specifically reminded me of 2H32. Just like
Yeah.
a little bit.
I also, if I'm being like perfectly candid, maybe it's just me being stupid, but I don't understand the big like suicidal like metaphors and things that are going on in this one, because this is the one that got linked to the suicide helpline, and I don't fully understand why, if I'm being blunt.
So from what
I got something completely different from this video.
from what I'm gathering, Room is no longer in the picture, right? He's wandering aimlessly.
Well, he got banished from God.
Right. So now, this is the first time that Antler Boy has kind of been on their own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think they're not handling that well. That's my own interpretation of it, though.
Well, so it goes on. After you see this bit of like coughing up blood, you get like this terminal flash of like a terminal screen.
Computer terminal, not like a
yeah,
a
computer
killing
terminal.
floor.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And it flashes away to like a craft of someone like making a creature. So I don't know if this is supposed to be like
he's like cutting out paper.
it's like paper with like noodles inside of it. It's very strange. It's like making pants, and you see this shape start to form, and it's like this person. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the complex shape, where it's like the crutches with like the sack kind of, but the head is like a weird, like it looks like a styrofoam ball with a cross on the forehead, and where the eyes are like two nails coming out. And it's just these hands creating this thing. And then we get the imagery that made the least amount of sense to me, which is a bunch of like wrenches just standing around and like paper mache birds flying around too, which those will make sense in a minute. But I don't understand what the wrenches.
I'm hearing
supposed to mean.
a lot of me coming back through the mics and you guys coming back through the mics as well.
Spooky. I'm not hearing any of that.
Yeah, I'm also
Okay.
not hearing it.
It's just you.
Okay.
So we get this bit where after all this weird imagery of these paper mache birds and this like weird guy with like nail eyes, you get this dialogue that comes over, and it's like, are you, do you feel happy when you see like the creatures drinking at the lake? And the person that this narrator is asking says, no, because I am painless. You see things where he says like, oh, what do you feel joy when you see the birds flying in the breeze? And he goes, no, because I'm painless. And as they say like, no, because I'm painless, these things that the narrator is talking about get destroyed. When they mention the birds and he's like, no, I'm painless, you see the birds get shot and get destroyed. And he's like, what of the creatures drinking from the river? You see this thing with the nails for eyes and the cross on its forehead come up and stab the creature drinking from the river. So it's almost like it's this narrator is like God, and I don't know if this thing with like the nails for eyes is supposed to represent man and its destruction of nature or something. That's what I'm understanding from it, because it's like, oh, what of the wolves? Aren't they cool? And it's like, nope, and it just starts stabbing these pictures of wolves. It's just very unsettling imagery of crosses and like a nail-eyed man, and then
Going through the hands.
you see these two hands, and it just takes a key. One of the hands takes a key and just shoves it in the other hand, and I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to symbolize.
Are you-
Because then
what?
it
Bunch of
takes
Jesus.
That's
going
the
on.
that's the
it takes the
crucifixion.
key. It takes the key and it shoves it through the head of the guy with the nails for eyes. And I'm like, what is all this supposed to be doing? Maybe it is supposed to be a crucifixion, but why a key? Use a nail. You already have nails that are in the guy's eyes.
Because the key and the
I think
nail-
I think we're dwelling on this stuff. way
I'm
too-
dwelling on the right
I
things.
think the keys and the
Okay.
nails represent the same
Absolutely,
thing.
Mike.
Whatever. And
I don't know what they are. so-
me neither.
That's my Catholic upbringing.
That
coming
is
out.
the painless video. It's convoluted. It's a convoluted mess.
Is it?
Yes, I don't fully get it. I don't fully get much of this anymore. But here we are. The last video is basically what I would refer to as a bad acid trip of what I would say is Room, and I'm assuming this is where he got banished to, because it's Room just chilling, and he's got a big arm now, and he's got
been jacking off a
he's
lot
been
of
JOing
that
a
now.
bunch, yeah.
Yeah.
The JO crystal is charged.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's surrounded
Boy
by
from
these.
Craigslist hasn't had to come back at all.
He's surrounded by this imagery of like of like birds, and the closed captions throughout this entire video just say "kill the saint." and you get Room, who literally busts out of a window of a room, and he just starts walking. And as he's walking, he finds a picture in a box, and this picture is what looks like someone in a dress doing sign language. I don't know what the sign is for, but it's like this became his motivation, because now he kind of just like goes off on a journey through like the woods, and in these woods he gets attacked by these wolf-like creatures that have crosses for heads, and he fends them off, promptly beating the crap out of them. Like literally, he like slams a couple together. It's kind of cool. And then he comes across this weird like plane of existence where there's like a single house, and then there is a giant version of that image of the person holding up the sign language in the dress. And off in the distance, you see this big stairway leading up this one door. And we see our boy walking up this stairway, and he looks confident as hell. I'm not gonna lie, he's doing like the hero walk. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
He's doing
Main
that
character
heroic-
walk.
main
He's doing the
character
hero
walk.
walk with just this big.
He's doing the
third
JoJo
arm.
walk from the comics.
Kind of,
He's
yeah.
doing the JoJo walk.
You come at me.
Yeah, he's doing that up the stairs. And he gets up the stairs, and he goes through this door. And then we're in this room, and in this room is that person from the picture. And our I guess you could say, I wouldn't call him antagonist at this point, but it's definitely
A character.
the person named Room. It's the black triangular head. And they embrace this person who has a black square head. Like, you can't see who this person is. And they embrace him. They hug. And while they hug, you get this French that pops up. Now, with this France that'd be popping up here for y'all, it do be translating to a few things. Essentially, what it
It
says...
forms sentences.
It forms sentences, which you wouldn't believe it because of the French.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but what it basically says is things like, the volume was silenced. It says that. It says, I woke up crying. It says, I pressed my chest against yours. And that's when you see these two characters hug. And then it says, he cares. And that's when you get another one that eerily pops up and says, please. And while that one that says please pops up, you see that giant hand that belonged to Room Guy just shove right through this person and essentially kill them. Like they fold over, and our character here like holds them, like caresses them down to the ground as they die, essentially. Now, this ends with a QR code. And if you clicked on that QR code, you get another video. This video is 5 minutes long. The first 3 minutes is this same exact video, but reversed. And the last 2 minutes of the video is our character with the dark triangle head, which again I'm going to assume is Room, sitting on a chair. He's on the phone, and it looks like he's going through a really bad time on the phone, because it shows him like actively upset and aggressive on the phone. Then he hangs up the phone, and you see him just like get fucking pissed. And that's the end of the video. And it's very weird.
Very weird.
Very weird.
Well, we'll.
And I'm not entirely sure again what that's supposed to mean. I mean, obviously it has
I've
something
given
to do
up
with,
trying at this point.
it has something to do
Yeah.
with trauma. I'm assuming
Yeah.
some sort of breakup, like he's letting go of this person, and that 2-minute call thing at the end was them breaking up. I don't know. But at this point, everything is very, very subjective and artsy. It's too artsy.
I will tell you, from the next 6 videos that I'm going to explain, which I'm going to try and put very bluntly, very quickly for you, it's all so wild. There's nothing I can do or explain to tell. Like, I'm not going to go over every second of my videos.
Yeah, we'll be here all night.
But I will. There's a lot of hidden text and things in these videos, and I will go over those. Okay, so after we get his last video, we get to a video called Tell Them, in parentheses, and it is so sporadic, and you basically have 2 hooded figures one doing sign language, one just kind of flailing around. One looks kind of like I guess our main character, Boys Vert, Boisvert, whatever you want to call it.
Boys.
I'm partial to Vert Boy.
Verbatim. But basically you see these two hooded figures just very sporadically, and one of the things let me tell you, this starts out with some fucking banger music, all right, but it's just like banger music with just like cryptic words and flashing text the whole time, and pretty much kind of looks like something's like booting or loading up. We get something called Covenant Parabola Archive Post Complex. We get Internal Directory Unspoken Divergent Systems, Covenant Seraphimic Clause Access Post Complex. We get all this weird shit like loading up on the screen, and then we have a bunch of text that is either unreadable at the human eye, or some sort of binary or some sort of sign language. So I'm going to go over that right now because I can sit here and talk about the video all day, but it's not going to make sense the way that I describe it. So I'm just going to talk about the things that like you miss when you watch the video. So one is a bit of text that says and what of the heart, and that's at 16 seconds, and it's just text, but you barely can make it out. And then at 34 seconds we get binary that says, and it's mostly indecipherable actually, but what you can make out is it says the heart has taken shape. At 40 seconds, there's some letters in the top of the screen that says the Covenant bleeds. And now the Covenant is something we haven't actually really covered yet, but I will bring it up a bit more in a video that comes up in a little bit, because we haven't seen the Covenant in full form yet, so I don't know if it's appropriate to talk about right now. And then there's like 2 seconds later, at 42 seconds, you see the words "towards an unknown wound." There's so much going on that I don't know how to like put this into any sort of
order,
coherent. Nothing about this makes sense. So I'm just going to keep talking and hope that you guys are listening.
It's devolved from like, normally what we do, what we get with these is like not coherence whatsoever, but it evolves into coherence.
Yeah.
This is like the direct opposite.
If I can just get through my videos, I can start trying to talk about the things that are being said, I guess.
Good luck with that.
So at 48 seconds, we see "you remain so silent even now," and this is just more letters that are spelled out at the top of the screen. And accompanied by these, it says "tell them" repeatedly over and over, which is obviously the name of the episode, which you will see all over everywhere during this. Oh, God.
Wow.
So, at a minute 17, we get the words "only half remains, he is gutted" in binary. At 1:20, we see "but who will tell," which kind of finishes off that sentence. So it's "only half remains, he is gutted, but who will tell." At 1:29, we see "it isn't so much that the complex is immutable. You have proven that much. However, the complex grows within an environment identical to this." And this is written out word by word in the upper half of the screen. But it's so fucking hard to see. Like you would have to literally sit. Whoever was able to actually sit here and unravel this whole sentence out by like pausing and seeing like frame for frame, I thank you. I didn't cite you here because
fuck you. That's
My
why.
bad.
Fuck you.
But regardless, that's what that says. At 1:37, we see "wounds to the Covenant flow in reverse." At 1:40, we see "the heart is irrevocably changed." And basically, this whole video is about 2 minutes and 30 seconds long. After we get that last message, the rest of the video is just I don't know if we've actually named this character, but it's the origami turkey head man, kind of just reaching out at like crosses and chairs, and there's this like black and white that's happening. In this video, we see a lot of like hand movements, and what we could essentially call the main character, but in like a yarn form. I'm not actually sure about that. Like I truly don't know what to call this character that we see here. But it's just all very art form. Jason, if you're trying to see the guy I'm talking about,
I'm just trying to see like the visual.
it's this.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
that yarn guy.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's that video, and that's all I'm gonna go with on there. Our next video is called Night. And I'm gonna shout out an actual user that commented on the YouTube. Their name was Hesh7630. They gave a bunch of these timestamps, which was really great because this one in particular is really kind of bizarre. We pretty much start out with just a bunch of numbers and text in like a bias format. And then we see some hands. Basically, these hands are controlling this little guy throughout the whole video, and it's just like a wire mesh skeleton of something, and that's pretty much the whole video. Like literally, that's all we are seeing throughout the whole video. You get a little bit of text throughout the video, and the text is basically hidden in a bunch of these details. So at 12 seconds, we get hexadecimal numbers that can be translated into decimal, and then into ASCII, which is translated to Adonis Drive Operative. Now, I'm not even going to try and attempt to tell you guys what that means because I have no fucking idea. And I don't think anyone has any idea because everything I read about this is just what that is.
What is that?
What that
This
means.
is what I think it is.
And I read some people who were like, "Oh, it means this and that," and I was like, "You're stupid."
I think
Get
people
the
are
fuck
just
outta
trying way
here.
too hard
Yep.
to like apply analysis to these. I
At
don't
a certain
think it can be
point-
done.
100%.
You're-
I'll go more
yeah.
into that later, but yes, I agree with you.
Yeah,
on that.
no, I agree. At 56 seconds, we get the words Elohim, which in Hebrew translates to God. So, for example, this thing that we're seeing in the video, it's for some reason and somehow, for lack of a better word, making a pact with God or something along those lines. And as mentioned in this conversation, it's shown that like right at the front of the screen, at about 1 minute and 20 seconds, this is where we see that. You can kind of guesstimate or kind of take away that that's what's happening, I guess. At 1 minute 37, we hear over and over, and the sky will be bright, and I will be silent. And the sky will be bright, and I will be silent. And they keep saying that over and over
again.
and over. And then at 1 minute and 57 seconds, we hear Elohim 5, Violence Prayer, 5th edition, Residual Serif, lines 1, 2. It doesn't really, like, it's not referring to anything specific in the Bible. But at first glance, it's like for sure related. And if someone like, basically the longer this one goes on, it changes into lines 3, 4, 5, 8. The further we go, 9, 11 at 2.
9/11.
Yeah, right. But once we go through that, at about 2 minutes and 19 seconds, we see the sky will be silent and I will be bright. So they've reversed it, which is interesting because there's so much going on with the main character that I want to talk about, but I really truly cannot yet because the next 4 videos or whatever I have are like so pivotal. Like I want to say pivotal to what the whole series means, but at the same time almost have zero context at all. And I think you guys probably are feeling the same way about that. Anyways, so
I feel nothing.
yeah, and
I'm numb.
we keep seeing the words Elohim, and it doesn't have any more meaning or interpretation than we had before. But about at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, we do hear like that this voice is tired about something or someone, and we're not really entirely sure how to interpret that. However, there seems to be some sort of cycle happening where the old self is becoming the new self and then reverts back to the old self, and it's like this really terribly vicious cycle. And that's like one of the things that really fucks me up about this whole thing is that like we've been dealing with this whole like mental health like overarching like theme, but the more we go through the videos, it seems like, oh, he's like battling the bad parts of his psyche, and now we've hit this fucking big wall where he's like making this pivotal change, and it's kind of all turning around on him, and now he's fucking back into his like depressive self. And like it could turn out in the end to be maybe he's back into depression.
That it didn't even matter.
Literally. Like there's nothing about this made any sense, or like it doesn't even matter. But yeah, so that's the end of this video. Again, if you're going to watch my videos 20 through 25, just watch the video, because I'm not going to tell you every frame by frame.
Yeah,
because it's so fucking wild.
This devolves into abstractness very quickly.
Yeah.
There's some fucking animation in here that is better than some of the animation in Dragon Ball Super.
100%.
That's not a lot of animation.
I knew I was going to trigger Mike. I knew I
Oh
was
my
gonna
god,
trigger
it's so
Mike.
bad.
Stop.
We are not talking about
Yes.
Dragon Ball at all right
Oh
now.
my god,
Bonus.
Super's animation.
Bonus
so
content.
shit.
Bonus content.
If we are going to make this any further, we have to
We have
go
to
now.
shut up and we seriously.
So the next video is called "I have done everything for his sake. He is crying and the door is open."
Yes.
All right.
This was one of my favorite videos, if I'm being honest.
I mean, they switched over to 3D animation for the movies. How bullshit is that?
Shut the fuck up, bruh. So this opens similar to all the other videos, and it is done in a very art house animation, and it's being shown with cryptic text and black and white, and it's everything that every other video has. We get Antler Man, we get static, we get fucking inside the house, we get this fucking blurry bullshit, we see a bunch of naked bodies like we normally do, we get a fucking x-ray of a man, we get two bodies fusing into one body. And then there's some more Antler Man, and it's just, who the fuck cares at this point, right? What does it mean?
Did you just Ash vlogs this?
I kind of Ash vlogged
After
this.
the 2 hours we've been going at this, we might as fucking well have Ash vlogged this.
That being said, I will tell you all the fucking bullshit that you see throughout this video. So at 45
I
seconds...
thought you said you weren't going to do that.
Well, no, I'm telling you all the secret stuff.
Okay. Oh, okay.
At 45 seconds in sign language, you see, "You have abandoned this place. Please stay safe. Burns heal." At 51 seconds, we see, "This place is a circle. Leave." And the S's are fives, going back to the whole five
The
thing.
God thing.
Then
Whoa.
a whole minute passes, and we see, "You are begged day and night for a different outcome." And this is a very small text on the screen that you see. At a minute 58, you see, "The heart sick is almost torn in two." Again, the fives or the S's are fives. At 2:05, you see, "Torn from the structure it was nailed into." All the S's are fives again, and this kind of has a biblical feeling to it. At 2:14, we see.
Did you mention bros is straight up naked?
Oh yeah, he just.
There's just so much nakedness going on in this. I didn't mention it, but it's just there's just a thick.
He's
hung bull boy in the screen. Actually, you don't see dick at all, which is
No,
really
you don't.
disappointing.
Fuck you,
Yeah.
YouTube. Show me
For sure.
penis.
But yeah, so
Well, there's. Never mind.
There's the
Continue,
tip.
Please.
no,
Please continue.
there isn't.
Just.
Anyways, at
Just
two
the
minutes
tip.
and 23 seconds, we see the words "come upstairs."
I'm just saying, go to
the house above.
159. Please continue.
So at 2 minutes and 23 seconds, we see "come upstairs. The house above is
Come.
destroyed. Fear the sun no longer." At 2:49, it says, "We could leave." Now, everything in my bones wants me to not talk about this next part, but we're gonna do it. There's a QR code that is shown towards the end of this that goes to another hidden YouTube video on the channel, and basically it has some text that says, "I walk through every room, every hall of that house, and as I do, they are all screaming at me. They are all begging me, please, please, do not leave us. Please stay with us. We are here, and we are burning, and we are hurting, and you cannot leave. Even now you lay waste to all which delivered you from here. They worked ceaselessly towards nothing short of this end. The covenant would only ever come at such a cost. The absence of that will ruin the cost more than could be paid seconds prior. This is such a war to be fought tooth and nail." This video leads you to 2 other videos, and I am going to absolutely shoot myself in the fucking face about this, because these 2 other videos are straight up just like
warning,
poems. Now, I love this series as a whole, but this was unnecessary in my whole opinion, like super hard. And I'm not trying to like shit on his poem writing, I guess, but
I think he's just expressing himself, bro.
That's fine.
Here, I'm going to put words in your mouth real quick, because I think this is
QR codes can go eat my whole ass.
I also don't know if... I don't actually know if any of the 4 of us have a legitimate appreciation for poetry.
I do.
I don't.
Do you?
No,
Do you really?
Absolutely
A
not.
little bit, yes. I enjoy poetry.
I barely like-
enjoy the
okay.
humor in it as well.
I barely
There's-
like music as is, so like poems aren't doing it.
There's
for
a
me.
there's a
My fucking pits are sweaty, bro.
there's a there's a TikToker.
That's a haiku if I ever heard one.
If
Anyway,
that
there's a-
didn't
there's a
explain
TikToker.
what's
Fucking
happening right
pits
now.
are sweaty, bro. How do you?
It's snowing on Mount
Snowing
Fuji.
on Mount Fuji, yes.
There's a TikToker who let out a book of poetry, and everyone is just brutally annihilating them online, because one of the poems is, "He didn't like drama, and I was fucking Shakespeare."
I saw that.
And it's
I
like,
saw that.
you're bad. You're bad at this.
So I guess that feeds into what I'm about to say here, right? If
My
you want to
favorite
listen to
response
these,
that- Never mind.
no,
Doesn't matter.
no, go ahead.
It is a 303 reference. It doesn't. It's not.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Black dress. Anyways, so yeah, we get 2 links to 2 poems, and now they may be good. I don't know. I'm not the judge of that. I don't fucking
Read it.
poem. I'm not gonna do that. But
that's the poem.
I will say
Very abstract.
this goes above and beyond to be even more, and I'm gonna use this lightly, but emo than it already has been, right?
Emo kid.
Like,
just
we
as
get
far as I
this
can
huge-
see.
We get this huge.
Fucking Hollywood. Jesus.
When my sister's mascara and got grounded for a week.
Oh my God. Doug, I'm sorry. That
You'd be
plague-
non-conforming too if you looked just like me.
Just like me.
Are we good? Did we all get it out of our
I
system?
think it's out of our system. I think.
All right, cool. So we get this big wall of text already. That's very like. We get this big wall of text that's just terrible.
Baby sleeping, sir.
And then we get 2 poems that are even worse, and it's like not even like we've already got this like half suicide note essentially from the creator. Okay, so we're not making progress here, right? Like there's no progress being made on this person's mental health. At least in my mind, I'm not seeing anything progressing in a positive manner. And guess what? We're gonna go to a fucking new video called Sequence 1, and we have 2 other videos called Sequence 1, 2, and 3. And I'm gonna just fucking lump this shit out of these together, all right? So prepare your fucking ear anus. Sequence 1, black and white as shit, just like every other video we fucking watched, right? Big man knife belly. That is that is the only thing I can say about this first
Big
video.
man
Okay,
knife belly.
it is a dude with a knife coming out of his belly, and when I say it's a dude, it's fucking I'm pretty sure it's dog tooth, but hold on.
Man bear.
Let me just
It's man
confirm
hook,
this real
hand
quick.
car door, hand.
Yeah, it's hand card door hook car man. It might be room. I'm not sure because it's so sporadic that it's kind of hard to tell. It's actually the big ball-headed dude with the cross and the nails. Anyways, so they have just big knife coming out of them, and they're just walking around the whole time, like holding the knife with their hand. It's really like if you don't like being cut or want to think about being cut, this isn't the video for you.
Just don't watch this.
there was nothing special in this video. It basically opens with this imagery that we're, very, very used to seeing. It's body horror. It's a black and white noir kind of feel to it.
Holy shit! This is the Sin City of like analog horrors.
It truly is. But the only thing we get at the end of the video is a few words, and it says, "It was only ever for the best, and the full measure of your days were unaccounted for." And that is the most depressing shit I've ever read out loud, actually, because when you think about your own life, you never want someone to tell you that the full measure of your days were unaccounted for.
No,
because that basically means you were you amounted to nothing, and that no one remembers you. Because there is a point in time where if you die, the last person to ever think about you is where you end.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
you just never cease to be a thing ever.
That's why you just do something really awful.
Like start a shitty internet horror comedy podcast.
Why do you think we're here?
We're immortal on the internet.
This is our attempt.
We will never die.
We have to go out with some sort of someone talking about us for at least 100 more years, right?
But we will never die. We are archived forever.
Who's going to be
responsible?
Who's going to be responsible for the controversy?
To be fair, ChatGPT is not able to trawl our content yet, so I don't see the immortality yet. But
we'll buy a crawling bot as soon as we can.
Okay.
So when we get into the next video sequence too, we see the Covenant like actually in the flesh for the first time, and the Covenant is a bunch of people in black robes. And they're in this abandoned building.
And then the Arbiter shows up.
Harvey and the Chief.
I've never played those games before.
Wow. What?
So basically, we see a lot of this happening, and then we get Dogtooth, and he's doing some bad stuff to himself. And when I say bad stuff to himself,
that's how you grow that third arm.
Masturbate? Yes.
I'm just gonna keep
audio listeners. Are you liking this?
For those on YouTube, we're pulling
Doug
the
and
whitest
Jason are
kids
kissing.
you know right now.
Doug
we're just jerking off in the office
jerk.
room. So yeah, and when I say Dogtooth's doing bad things to himself, I don't mean he's jerking off. I mean he's fucking stabbing the shit out of himself like half the video. So it starts off.
Some people jerk off like that, Doug.
Yeah, that's fine. It's called sounding. Basically, we're trying to access some parable index. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but that's what we see in the video. And then basically, a man starts a stopwatch while a guy swings a knife around, and that guy is fucking Dogtooth. And then we get some more of the Covenant, and they're just walking around with banners, and we're getting all these like weird options. We see more like bias options of like these index options that you can choose from. But it goes back to choosing an option where Dogtooth is stabbing himself again, and it's over and over and over, and then that's it. That's really fucking it. That's all the video is. Like these last 3 videos are so fucking useless in my opinion. I say that in such a kind way though, because the whole thing is great. Like I really enjoyed every video. Like just because I say this video is useless doesn't mean that there's nothing of content to it, but like these last 3 videos had like no context to them. Like there's nothing special, there's no hidden words, there's no hidden meanings. Like it's really kind of, I don't know.
Their sequences.
It kind of sucks because like I had so much like hidden shit, and then it's all of a sudden just like, bing. Here's 3 videos.
Here's 3 sequences that might have something to do with any of this, but we don't.
However, this is the last video in the whole series, as far as we know. This is sequence 3. Angels take court on the Covenant. And I think this may be a big giant metaphor for the angel talking to the Covenant, which is our main character somehow. I don't know why, but I think the Covenant
Explain.
now... I will. So the video starts off with hands forming this like square, right? And like this weird square, like exactly. And you see the square, and then the camera like pans through the square, and then
Zoltan.
We get this massive wall of text, similar to like everything else we've fucking seen over and over again by now. But the hands quickly fold into like a piece of paper, and then we see this like weird like angel thing happen. But like we get this banter between the angel and the Covenant, speaking of who I assume is our main character, which is why I think the Covenant might be our main character. I really, people, listen to me. I don't know why I think this, and I just
a burning.
You got nothing. Okay.
I've got nothing other than the fact that like who else would they be speaking to? Like why would they be speaking this way in
The
this
audience.
sense to this random Covenant that we've literally only heard of a couple times in the whole series, the whole series is about this man's mental health. All right, so let me read you the whole. I'm gonna just read verbatim this conversation, and we'll be done. I swear, I promise. All right. Angels, there is something we always told him. What are you in the face of an unrelenting assurance? The Covenant, they say, when we last spoke, it was a series of promises I made. Now realized, now a grave to a series of graves to this living moment. We emerge and the dirt does not touch us. None may do so without our sanction. Now, I will say this could the Covenant also could be his like inner feelings, maybe like his emotions. Fair. I'm not sure.
Like his actual true like this is how he actually feels.
Because they're talking about him without him being there, and I say him very loosely because I don't know what Boisvert is. Anyway,
they could be the audience though.
Like, that's true. That's very true.
The people that watch his videos, and it would make sense that they're a covenant of angels because throughout the series.
Well, like, no, there's angels and then there's the Covenant.
Okay. Are the Covenant angels though?
No, they're just black robed figures.
They're just things. Okay.
Yeah. That's all. I mean they could be angels. I don't have the authority to tell you that they are.
That's
not.
fair.
However, I'll keep going. So the angels say, you never heard how he laughed. He is beneath what could even consider itself memory, and the measure of his days are accounted for. You tell a story to a fragment and a dog. Now, here we're actually hearing that his days are accounted for, which is something that we heard before saying that they were not accounted for, which is really sad.
Yeah.
Which we've already gone over, but it's good to know that the angels think that they are accounted for. Now we hear the Covenant say, you never understood. The amount of love in his heart is staggering. The angels say, it was always a place where he found solace, throttling backwards, burning quietly. And the Covenant says, it was a kindness cruel beyond measure. And the angels go, the story he believed ran him to the bone, speaking precisely or not at all. 5 times in reverse, amuse me, and I will smile upon you from the start until this living moment. The Covenant says, and in this lieu you will conceived of a living back door, and you rushed to the ruins of that city upon a hill. And the angel says, he is recovered by our grace, and the space you have made for him will be flung open by our hand. And he never knew that your back door, because he only faced forwards until your stunning dawn sank beneath the tree line before his very eyes cut open just in time to close as a slow blink, just as the wound flowed in reverse. And all you have done to him is entrap him in which is you, which is him, which was left beyond presupposed fragment. The Covenant says, you haven't yet realized that I am here. And the angel says, you claw the throat that feeds me. And the Covenant says something indecipherable, and then the Covenant says, the weather was nice that day. And that's the last thing we see. The thing that we see the angel, what we see is the angel saying we must make change in ourselves. And I think that's a huge, huge trope in this whole thing. But I think the weird part is the Covenant is like, the Covenant almost seems like that thing in your brain that tells you like, I'm not doing that. I see what I'm doing, but I'm not doing that thing. It's that thing that makes you go, I'm not really that bad, right? I may be doing this, but I'm not
but
doing that.
At least I'm not doing that.
Right? Like, that's kind of like what it seems like. And then, we see a bunch of hands grasp him at the very end. And that's the end of our topic, y'all.
Yeah.
That's the last video.
Thank God. I am fully checked out.
Hey, at least you're not lying about it.
Boys for whatever you are.
Boisvert.
Oh, how fun you are, but boy, did we spend the time on
Boys.
it.
but boys, is this over?
But boys, this over.
Boisvert.
Yeah, this was again. I cannot emphasize enough. Go watch this.
Seriously, this is a fucking fantastic time.
We just talked your ear off for probably over 2 hours at this point, if not close to.
No,
And,
this is part 2.
and we probably didn't even.
This is the end of part 2.
We probably didn't even scratch the surface of it. Let's be real.
If it is, we need to
Oh yeah, no,
record the intro for the second part.
Yeah, we are. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, but all I would say is, do yourselves a favor. Go to DlutiPod.com.
Go to hell.
Go to hell.
No, we haven't even talked about anything. I just finished the whole.
We haven't.
We have to actually. We have to break
Let's
down.
at least share what we think each individually.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but we have to talk
Yeah.
more about this. We can't just
Fine.
end it there.
Fine.
Do we?
I think.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Do we really?
I can't just be like, that's the end of it.
That's fine.
That's all, folks.
Fine. I think.
And then Porky Pig the fuck out of here. Like,
I think this started off as a very cut and dry story about depression,
Yep.
and then
Mental illness or something.
and then the creator was like, "Hey, I've seen a lot of avant-garde
I've seen Sin City.
art films, and I want that.
I've seen The Room.
I've seen The
Tommy
Room.
Wiseau.
I've seen a lot of art house films, and I want to make an art house film on YouTube." And I think that's exactly what they did. There's a lot of metaphors, a lot of symbology, a lot of time and effort put into this, and I love
Symbology.
it. Yeah, it looks
That's a good word.
fan-fucking-tastic, but it is way too much for my pea-sized brain to comprehend. Now, this is what I got from this entire thing. This was one man's giant, epic, beautifully crafted story about being sad.
You don't say, Michael.
And that's what I'm boiling it down to. What about? I loved it. Go watch it. It looks phenomenal. I'm not. We're not going to be able to put it to justice. So please go watch this and get your own opinion on it, and let us know what you think at dlutipod@gmail.com. Email us. Let us know what you think of it.
It's 100% subjective. This is
Creator.
okay.
X Remy. The creator is a man named X Remy.
Yes.
On socials, he is an artiste. I could not find much information because anytime I tried to look up X Remy, I got porn. So there's that. But I found like his link tree to like the Patreon, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. So go check it out. You just look up X Remy, go through the porn a couple times, and you'll find it. Google will think you're trying to look up the word creamy, but you're not. You're trying to look up X Remy.
That's not what happened to me, so I don't know what you've been doing in your Google search history.
My search history is unique. So here's the thing. Go look up their shit. Their shit is all over the internet, and they even link to their Discord. They link to their Twitter. They link to their Instagram in the descriptions to a lot of the videos on the YouTube channel. So go check it out. I'm sure you'll find a lot of stuff. Hell, their Twitter is full of dope-ass art. So go look at that shit, my guy.
Hell yeah.
There's an Instagram, too.
Fuck yeah. I enjoyed this one like a lot, way more than I thought that I was going to, especially for a series that, at least from what I think, was done almost entirely in MS Paint.
Most of it.
There's no way.
Most of it.
I want to make fun of the animation, but it's just too good to
The
have.
thing that gives it away, the thing that gives it away for me is the fucking like the lines of the straight lines when they shift a little bit. Like
the basic
it's
rudimentary animations, yes, but the rest of it, that's
100%.
like
the
no,
part-
yes, okay, I will agree with that.
The parts where Dogtooth's like running through the fucking like parking garage, there's no way.
No, there's
Like,
no way for that.
that's just video with
so, like,
filters thrown over.
So
that's
like
all that shit is.
the very first part, so like video 8 through like 12.
Well, the last 3 videos,
Where
if you
Nick-
watch those, they're fucking.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
It's either way. The fact
Yeah.
that it's not like it is purposefully not a high quality animator that actually helped sell it for me, especially when I saw like the MS Paint version of a found footage fucking horror film. Like the way that this was gone about, the way this was animated, the way this was presented, it just drew me in, and that for me sold it for me. On top of that, the message behind all of this, like just the struggle of like just being yourself, the struggle of dealing with these inner problems, your inner demons, the whole thing, like it was very impactful, because every single one of us deals with our own personal shit on a daily basis. Some people
You
more
deal
than
with your
others.
own personal boys vert every day.
Your own personal boys virtue every
Boysenal
day.
persvert.
Your boysenal pervert, yeah. No, it.
I do
Is
with
that
my
what
own
was on
personal-
Epstein's plane?
I think so. Yes, I think it might have been.
Those were
The
some
boysenal
vertical boys.
Pervert, yeah. The boysenal pervert. No, it was like this. It captivated me. It sucked me in, and I know that it was chaotic, and I know it was hard to follow. But like, even I think it was meant to be just vague. I think it was meant to be open ended for whoever finds this and watches it, to just be able to apply that to their own life and like maybe get something out of it, especially if they're going through depression. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I also just realized it's nice having you back from prison. We were able to get you out of there for being on Epstein's flight
Yeah,
list.
that was pretty wild.
Yeah.
The fact that we could
I'm
afford
glad you didn't
that bailout.
hang yourself.
I didn't suicide myself.
You're a lucky man.
I am a lucky man. Not everyone gets to escape from that. I'm glad you didn't turn the security cameras off.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. That's kind of how I felt about it. It's very interpretive. I don't think there is a single like explanation to this. I think it was left vague and left kind of open-ended simply so it could impact as many people as possible that are going through something similar. And that's kind of what I think about it.
Yeah, I'd love to see them upload something new for us to interpret, but
Is that a wild turkey bottle full of like milk? Because that's what it looks like from here.
it's a wild
Oh,
turkey
it's
bottle
empty.
just
It's
full
label.
of nothing.
It's
Okay.
empty.
I will say I think this video or set of videos
Shut up, Mike.
is truly just the creator's own mental downfall into like I literally think they were like, oh, I'm not doing good, I'm gonna make these videos, and then they were like, oh, I'm kind of doing better, and then we see the rest of the videos, and then they're like, ah, shit, that's not real, I'm doing bad again, and then we end the videos. And truly I think that's kind of where we are at with this whole thing. I feel like it's just the creator's mental decline and upswinging. It's and Mike doesn't care about mental health. Listen to
Apparently
that.
not.
He's laughing about people's
He thinks
mental
it's a
health.
fucking joke.
He can't even keep serious for one minute.
What he sounds.
Sorry, what?
That's all I got. I'm over this topic.
I'm sorry.
Mike is
No,
making me
he's
over
like-
the topic.
I said a wild turkey bottle full of milk. Like I spend my
where-
off time
where it was
taking milk from
positioned,
my
I couldn't-
fridge down here.
That's pretty funny. Matt, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I think the
sorry I
very
poo-pooed
beginnings
that.
of this series is very, very good. It's all good. I think mostly what you and Jason said is like it starts off as a pretty clear metaphor for some mental health struggles that I think is really well done. I think a lot of it, especially like the complex video in particular,
Yep.
does a very good job of capturing a feeling of being in a specific place, like bad mental place, without having to say anything, if that makes any sense. Like, and even in a way that's not like super on the nose. I don't know how to say, like,
Well, I mean, just
eloquently say what I'm trying to say, but like you can watch some of these videos and just be like, yeah, I get that place. Like,
100%. The complex, it almost seemed like it was a creation of somebody's own mind, and especially when you look at the walls, how they're like, it's just chaos. Like, yes, you can see a structure.
Well, I meant like the
but
complex
fuck.
video,
Oh,
even like
gotcha.
where like the complex is like sitting in the parking lot.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And
yeah,
like even the way the ambiance is done and the text and stuff all works together in a way that, like, I think that's a lot of what he was doing, was trying to visually capture a feeling and emotion. And I think a lot of that is done really well, especially in the earlier videos. And I really love this series for that. Later on, I think it basically does what you guys were saying, is like he kind of gets away from like doing that, and I think maybe it's because he felt like he didn't need to anymore, or it was maybe even that it was like taking its toll on him to keep doing it. Like maybe it was just like making him stay in that state, and that's why he kind of shifted to doing just more abstract, artsy animation fun.
Right.
Which I think is basically just what the last little bit of the series is just him fucking around with animation and drawing and
making music
based around a loose theme.
Not making music, but making music
Just
videos.
using music. Yeah.
Well, he has a SoundCloud that he's making music on there too.
I think this is this might have been
That's fair.
a creative outlet for like the I guess the dichotomy between his two interests, which are
Being sad. And
I mean, dealing with
MS Paint.
his hobby of depression.
of being sad. No, honestly, just informing people about like maybe helping people like to deal with their depression, or like just at least creating a medium that would accurately represent the feelings of somebody who is going through something similar, and creating a channel where they can go and be like, holy shit, this is exactly what I feel, like this makes sense to me. And I think that mixed with his passion for making music, I think both of those things come to a head here.
Yeah.
And like that's what we're seeing.
Yeah.
That's my,
I guess
that's my
the bottom
thoughts on it.
The
seeing
bottom
a lot
line of
ahead.
what I think is really cool is basically what Jason was saying, is like if you go look at the comments on some of the videos, there are a lot of people who are just like, I don't know what this means, but I get it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the coolest thing.
It's so fucking cool. The fact that you can create something abstract like this, and you can literally have a following of people who be like, I don't know why, but I get this.
Yeah,
That's just
there's
that's
a
so
cool. Huge outcry of support.
Yeah.
Where I guess you don't even know if you like really need to support,
Right.
but the support is there, which
It's-
is really phenomenal.
It is,
honestly.
especially on such an abstract topic, because there's like it's not like it's labeled like this is what it feels like to be like to deal with depression. Part one.
Yeah, it's not like I'm depressed. Please send help. Like,
right. This is a completely this is an art house type film that conveys an emotion through different visual like apparatus, I guess, and that's kind of the definition of what art house is. However, it's in a medium that they never would have done art house in before. Art house has been film. Art house has been like obscure media. Now we have this collection on YouTube where you can upload whatever the fuck you want. And that's why we're seeing all these different conglomerations of these like art house films that deal with abstract topics such as depression, mental health, and all that stuff. And they're conveying it in a way that other people with mental health issues can kind of understand. And I think that's fucking awesome.
you could say that it's fart house.
It is fart house. So it's gaseous.
All right, Mike, take us out.
Take us out, fuckers.
DlutiPod.com, Dluti.com. Go there, get some merch, become a member. You can go there to see all of our links to everything. You can become a patron at DlutiPod or patreon.com/DlutiPod.
Deputy at Dluti.
You could go to our Gmail, dlutipod@gmail.com. Send us a message on there. That'd be super cool. You can go to our social medias. They're all linked on our website, Dluti.com. But we're DlutiPod, or don't look on the internet, everywhere. You could also send us a voicemail on our Google phone number. It's 630.
Did you just barf your pants?
Holy shit.
It's 630-909-9366. Send us a voicemail. We'll play it on the show. Or send us a text and we'll respond. That is 630-909-9366. Another thing that you could do is send us mail. In general, we have a P.O. box. It is in the description. So send us some mail. That'd be super fun.
did so.
We have so many Mega Minds. Doug,
So
move your
many.
fat head. Look at all those Mega Minds behind Doug.
Mega Minds to all the Mega Minds.
We have like 12.
4, 6.
We have 18.
10, 12, 14, 16, 17.
That's a
Plus
lot of
the one at your
Megamind.
house.
I brought all
Oh, you
of
did?
them over.
Okay, 17.
There's
then.
17 Megaminds
Keep
on
them coming,
DVD.
people. Keep giving me Megamind
We can
DVDs.
watch Megamind with
We're going
16
to
other people.
We're going to eventually write Guinness, and we're going to be like, we
I
have,
have
the
the most
biggest
Megamind.
Megamind collection ever.
Ever.
Yes.
So
you don't
unless-
even have to stop at DVDs. If you can find merch,
VHS merch. I don't
Yes.
care.
Anything Megamind.
Anything with
Anything.
Megamind. Anything
Anything.
with the titular Will
Give
Ferrell
us some
Megamind.
Bulbous
I wa-
Blue Man.
I want to open like one of those weird warehouse locations that is like on the side of the fucking highway in bumfuck nowhere. That's just
Like a
like
porn
we have
shop?
the largest collection of fucking snow globes
Oh,
or
yeah.
whatever, but it's just Megamind. So we can just
Yeah.
buy a billboard that's like world's largest Megamind collection on the side of Interstate 45
That'd be
in like
amazing.
Arkansas.
Getting fucking.
Well, yeah, we'll do
Midwest
it.
on
Well,
the
no,
map.
we'll do it in the like the 10-minute span from like Illinois to fucking Indiana.
It's gonna be so. There's
We'll
gonna
be in between
Yeah,
all the
just in a
fireworks
cornfield.
billboards, where it's
gonna
like
State line
Black
fireworks.
Cat, fucking
Yeah,
no,
and then a
the
state line
fucking- the
fireworks.
Phantoms.
World's largest Megamind collection.
exactly. World's largest Megamind and Fudge Factory.
That are like
nailed it.
between the
Hell
50
yeah.
fucking Restore Hair billboards in Chicago.
Oh my
with Brian
God.
Urlacher.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
just gonna
yeah.
be Megamind and then just hair commercials.
Speaking of hair,
I
Wet Hot.
very
we-
recently
wait,
saw all of
we-
those.
Dude,
We need
it's
one.
crazy.
We just need one sentence.
Wait, I'm not done. I have two more things to say.
One
Wet
sentence.
Hot.
Go-
Mike.
Keep
go
going.
on.
Let's make this 3 hours.
Yeah, one last thing is
so
go if you're in the area, go to St. Charles, check out our friends over at Ghoulish Mortals.
Hell yeah.
Always.
Listen to their show as well, the Midnight Movie Distillery. Fantastic people, fantastic horror merch. You will love it.
We'll link them in the
Ghoulish Mortals.
description.
We never will. They're in St. Charles. Tell them Dluti sent you. They'll put a smile on their face. Also, if you need any logo work, graphic work, or photography, go to Undefined Graphics, Mike Lowy. The link for him is in our description as
Our
well.
description.
He did the banner that you see behind us. And if you want great artwork like that, you will hit him up. Thank you.
But
You'll
also,
hit him.
there's a thing that we need to do. We have one
Yes.
sentence of
Got
wet,
one sentence.
wet hot
sentence.
Allosaurus summer that we need to do.
Actually, no, we have two. 'cause-
Just one right
Just
now.
one.
This
This
is
is
such
just
a
one.
long episode.
No,
we
Alright.
need just one.
no, it really isn't. This is only an hour and a half.
is
Just
you're
one.
kind of right, actually.
That's why I'm saying we need to do
we
two.
need to do
two.
one.
We need to do two
What was
because
the
this
last
is the end of
sentence
part
we did?
two.
All right, let me read the last couple sentences.
Yeah, let's. Where
I'll
are
just
we
read
at?
this paragraph. Before I regale you with our sex life, let's talk about how I met Roy.
Right.
It was a wet, hot summer day, and we just arrived at the beach. Me and my friends Jessica, Carly, and Josh started to unload our trunk of beach gear. We began to mosey down the beach looking for the perfect spot when we noticed a group of shirtless Allosauruses playing beach volleyball.
Question: are they wearing jean shorts?
I don't know. We haven't got there yet. As the four of us put our belongings down, that's when a volleyball came into my lap. Mike, send it.
Mike and Matt, you guys got the sentences.
Oh, gee. Matt, you go first. Great. Keep it up.
Not to put you
I
on the
s-
spot.
I was immediately surprised by the volume of semen covering the volleyball.
Holy shit!
All right, so I was immediately definitely spelled that wrong. Surprised by the volume of semen.
Yep.
That's
Have
what
you
I
not
said.
experienced that
Covering
feeling,
the
Doug?
volleyball.
Or write it down.
Covering the volleyball.
All right.
Jesus Christ!
Oh, my turn?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it sure
you're
is.
up,
Yeah.
Mike.
Mm-hmm.
You, I proclaimed.
And that's it. Okay.
I proclaimed. I declared. If you haven't put that out there yet.
I already wrote proclaim.
Okay, proclaimed it is.
Ew, I proclaimed.
Hey, Ghoulish Mortals is now linked on all of our episodes.
Cool. Cool.
All right, we're good. All right, ew, I proclaimed. We'll get back to that next week.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Guys, thank you so much for listening, sticking with us for this two-parter. We'll be back next week.
You say two-parter, but
You
this
say
might not
two-parter,
become a
but we
two-parter.
also have to record a intro and an outro
Right.
for the first part of this.
And you know, that's the,
I think
the
if you
best
chop
thing
out,
to do
out,
is to inform everyone of the post-production magic we're about to do.
we need to make it a two-parter.
Okay, well,
I don't
that's
care.
a good thing that's not up to you.
Yeah,
This
I
is
think we
about to
could.
be a
I think we
3-hour
could make it a
episode.
two-parter, and then we take a week
I have
off.
a plan. Let's just hear me out.
Why don't we just end the fucking episode and then talk
Thank
about
you guys. We love you so much. We will see you next week.
it? Goodbye.
Hopefully,
I
maybe.
hate literally all of you. Why would you? Don't.